go ahead.
Thank you, Jeremy. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have some pretty exciting new information to share. Our stem cell extract that we use from our non-embryonic stem cells, of course, is amazing as far as producing results in rejuvenating skin. We'll be able to touch on briefly today some of the newer advances that we're using with the stem cells to actually further enhance and speed up results that we get. So I'm excited to be here working with Dr. Maxim Poustovoitov. We're going to call him Dr. Max throughout this presentation because his name is in Russian and I can't pronounce it correctly, so we're going to work with calling him Dr. Max. He is a senior research scientist at the International Stem Cell Corporation, which is the parent company of Lifeline Skincare, and I am the corporate director of education and training at Lifeline Skincare. So we're going to talk about how someday stem cells will change the world, but primarily our conversations will be on how stem cells are changing skincare. And I'm going to turn the presentation over to Dr. Max now, and he will take over. Oh, one more thing. Our producer, Jeremy, is monitoring your questions in the chat window to the right of the screen. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat window, and we will get them directly. Thanks. And we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. Okay, Dr. Max, it's all yours.
Right. Okay, good morning. As Linda mentioned, Lifeline Skincare is part of International Stem Cell Corporation, which is headquartered in Carlsbad, South California. Basically, it's the first company to create ethical pluripotent stem cells, and we use the stem cells for therapeutic research for liver disease, blindness, Parkinson's, and some other diseases are currently in the works. Our company is publicly traded, so if you want to buy some options, you can always do it. Lifeline Skincare basically was developed by the real biotech company that does real research and publishes a lot of papers in peer-reviewed journals. It's basically one of very few cosmeceutical companies backed by biotech lab, biotech research, and that's why the screens are really high-tech, if you can say it this way. We encapsulate our stem cell lysate in nanospheres, and we do a lot of research and a lot of testing for this, and we can show in vitro and in vivo results that our cream really works and really potent. So what is stem cell and why it's important for regenerative medicine and skincare research? Basically, stem cell come from blastocyst, which develops from oocyte during when oocyte gets fertilized by sperm. I'm go a little bit more in detail about this process and how our cells are different from pluripotent stem cells and why they're ethical a little bit later. But basically, in the stage of blastocyst, you see in blue, this is the stuff that's most interesting for us. This is stem cells, and this stem cells give life, basically give life all of our organs, all our body is developed from these stem cells. And once the body is developed, the stem cells stay in the organs and are used as repairing system for the body and for all the organs. Our company is world leader in cutting-edge stem cell science. We have very extensive portfolio of patents covering methods of deriving human stem cells and differentiating the stem cells into different tissues. And obviously for skincare too, we have more than 130 patents and licenses in 14 families, and more than 19 patents are pending currently. Also, we publish all of our research, and we publish in real scientific peer-reviewed journals. So you can pay these journals to publish your research, you submit your research, and then a panel of scientists that are not affiliated with our company, like completely unaffiliated, they basically might be our competitors. They review our research, and only if they think that our research is really valid, we can publish in these journals. So that's extremely important for us, and that's why we're world leaders in the science of stem cells. Okay, so to get the stem cells, you need to collect oocytes from women, and obviously the screening of the potential donors are extremely important, and this is really simplified version of the test that this women goes through. So first, we do the screening for potential donors. That's women from 21 to 29 years old with available reproductive history. Then we do the medical history, check for exposures to infections, diseases, risk factors. Obviously, we want the best donors possible. Then, of course, we get informed consent from these women. They know about the risk of the procedures, the benefits, and for the use of the cells. Then we go through biological assessment, and I guess most importantly for skincare, they go through extensive tests for pathogens like STGs, HIV, HPC, and actually a lot more. That's just an example. So you can be sure that we have the best quality materials with no possible, there are no possibility of getting an infection. And actually I have a question, why only women are donors, and to get stem cells you need to, again I go a little bit more in detail a bit later, but to get the stem cells you need to get oocytes, and oocytes obviously we can only get from women. So again, why stem cells are important? First, stem cells is the origin of life. The body starts growing from the very small amount of stem cells, but as the body grows, stem cells build all the organs like brain, lungs, gut, liver, and basically all the other organs, skin. And then other kinds of stem cells serve as a repair system for the body. So when something gets damaged, stem cells start to divide and repair the damage. So what stuff do we have in our pipeline right now? So obviously stem extract that's used for skincare went through all the stages and already in the market. You can buy our creams. Other we have human neural stem cells for Parkinson's disease. It's extremely close to clinical stages. I guess we're gonna start clinical trial within a month, within several months. Also, we have hepatocyte stem cells for inherited metabolic liver diseases that are preclinical trials. Also, we have corneal stem cells and tissue that are used to cure blindness and some other diseases. We have a lot of research going on in our company. Okay, so our stem cells that are used for the cream are manufactured in South California, not in China. So another benefit of stem cell is basically immortal in the right condition. If you develop the right condition, it's immortal. So we can produce hundreds of billions of cells that we can lyse and use it to produce our cream. We have a huge laboratory facility in South California and manufacturing space, and the largest private cryobank of human pluripotent stem cells in the world. And I guess the most exciting part for this presentation, not only we have the lysate, stem cell lysate that we use, we also working and actually extremely close to actual production of this new proprietary ingredients that basically perform like high concentrations of retinol, or actually a little bit better, but without the irritation and redness. So all the benefits without the side effects. And we combine these two technologies, these ingredients, and our human stem cell extract to develop new extremely potent serum that produces really, really fast results. So we're gonna make our cream that be really good cream and that really works. My wife really likes to use it, and make it even better. So another thing that we're working on right now, to put our stem cell extract in gel form. That's good for. Actually, it's never been done before, as far as I know. No other company has it at this point. And this gel form can be used for oily skin, acne skin, and used after the laser and microneedle devices. Also, we're working on 8-hour masks with our peptides from human stem cells with maximum strains. And another exciting thing that we're working at this moment that's almost ready is stabilized stem cell lighted in powder form. So why it's important, I know a lot of people, I guess, tried this space ice cream that you can buy in some museums that is used for astronauts, and this food is used for astronauts. Why it's important? Because it can be stored for very, very long amount of time. So we stabilize our stem cell lysate the same way it's used for astronaut things. And it stays basically unchanged for a lot of time, so it doesn't degrade. And when you need to use it, you can boost any serum or complex, our serum or complex with this powder, and use the most potent materials and use it on your skin. So as you store, it doesn't lose potency at all. And we have actually a lot more products in development. Okay, stem cells for skincare. As I mentioned before, stem cells are a repair system for our body. For the skin, it recognizes aging skin and skin that needs repair and restore usefulness, basically, and to aging or damaged skin. Stem cells have natural anti-aging capacity, lifeline. We cannot, unfortunately, use directly the stem cells, but we use the next best thing. We lyse these cells and take all the good stuff from the cells, like proteins, enzymes, peptides, signaling molecules, amino acids, and so on, and encapsulate them in nanospheres and put them in the cream. And all this stuff, all this good stuff, help stimulate the fibroblast activity, support collagen, elastin production, make the skin look younger and better, and help accelerate skin renewal. Linda gonna again go a little bit in detail about this later, but a lot of our other companies use non-human ingredients, but our company use only human-derived ingredients. And why it's important? Human-derived ingredients are species-specific to human skin. They provide direct response. So things that go on your skin don't need to be processed. They don't need to be modified in any way. They can directly start working and help revitalize your skin. They biocompatible, and that's important for skin restructuring and repair. As I mentioned, they don't need to be processed to be effective. And of course, they have direct effect on collagen and elastin production, and they start working right away once you put them on the skin. As I mentioned before, human stem cells is a natural repair system for the body. They have the ability to repair and revitalize damaged tissue and help restore usefulness to skin. And we take the good stuff from the cells and put it in the cream. All the proteins, enzymes, all the signaling molecules, peptides go in our liposomes and go in the cream and start working once you put it on your skin. Okay, this slide is kind of short, but it shows why human-derived ingredients are important. So if you have, so in the middle is a receptor on the cell surface. If you have some non-human ingredients, they need to go through a lot of stages to actually start working on this receptor, and as they go through the stages, they lose potency. But our human-derived ingredients, our molecules, can work directly on this receptor, work like key and lock, and start and stimulate the collagen and elastin production and help restore your skin. Okay, so I'm going, mentioned before that our company is the only company with ethical pluripotent cells. So there are two types of pluripotent cells, embryonic stem cells that come from fertilized eggs, and parthenogenic stem cells that our company developed, and that's the only way to get ethical pluripotent stem cells. Also, there are different somatic stem cells that come from different sources, like discarded tissue, but they're a lot less potent than embryonic or parthenogenic stem cells. So what's the difference between these two stem cells? To get embryonic stem cells, oocytes need to go through normal fertilization, so you need the sperm. So once sperm gets in the oocytes start to divide, and normal human embryon starts forming. So at the bottom of this blastocyst, you see the stem cells. So there are two ways to go. Either you can make a real baby, we can leave it and gonna start divided and make a real baby, or you can basically kill a blastocyst and get the cells and use the cells for production of stem cells, which is, I would say, extremely unethical. With our parthenogenic activation, we don't need sperm, we just need an oocyte, and as you know, women lose oocyte basically every month during their period. The way we get oocyte is from women, of course, is a bit more complicated, but this oocyte does not need to be fertilized with sperm. We use different chemicals and some other processes to make this oocyte divide. It goes up to this blastocyst stage, so we have the same stem cells as with normal fertilization. But why our thing is ethical, the process doesn't go further. So there's no life possible whatsoever. We don't kill babies during making our stem cells. But the cells we get are the same potency as pluripotent stem cells. So, and that's why our production is ethical, and we don't have any ethical questions for our stem cells. Okay, now back to Linda, and she's going to explain in a bit more detail, talk about our cream, why human stem cells are better than plant stem cells, and so on. So now back to you, Linda.
Thank you, Dr. Max. Toss the ball back. There we go. Thank you very much. That was a great explanation. So basically what Dr. Max was talking to us about is that we take the actually the proteins from the stem cell itself. We don't actually use the whole stem cell, obviously, and these proteins are what causes the skin to rejuvenate because they engage with the skin cell, and they're very potent, and once they engage with the skin cell, it starts the signaling molecules for collagen and elastin to form, and that is why it's critically important that we use a human-derived ingredient, because the body and skin recognize it. Now, in the case of using plant stem cells, which our industry is rather inundated with those currently, they are totally different from one another. A plant stem cell is nothing like a human stem cell, and basically in most cases you will find that plant stem cells come from the stem of the plant, and they really have very little to do with, they don't have anything to do with the repair process. So to be effective, of course, our stem cells should be species-specific, human stem cells for human skin cells, and we find that there is very little repair ability in a plant stem cell. Now, is a plant stem cell viable? Yes, it can be viable. It is amazing for antioxidant support and anti-inflammatory support, and we have even thought in the past that we may use some plant stem cells to support some of the benefits that we get from our human stem cell extract. However, they are not the same. They are like apples and oranges in their function within the skin. This apple, once it becomes bruised, it will be bruised forever. There is no way for it to repair itself. And even if the apple was attached to the tree and it was damaged from a bird or an insect, that damage would always be there. So what we're saying is that as a repair process, we need to use the human-derived ingredients, preferably the contents of a human stem cell. Now, how that works is I'll give you an analogy of what we actually take from the cell. If you think of the stem cell as a chicken egg, this is our parthenogenetic, non-embryonic stem cell, and you crack it open, and you crack the egg open, you throw away the shell, you throw away the yolk, and you keep the proteins, or the white part of the egg. That's exactly what we do from the stem cell. We lyse the cell, which means we break it open, we throw away the nucleus, the membrane, and the DNA, and we keep only the proteins. We encapsulate them, and that's what goes into the product to stimulate new collagen and to rejuvenate skin and skin repair. So on this stem cell comparison chart, you can see that our embryonic pluripotent stem cells and our human parthenogenetic pluripotent stem cells are very, very similar. Embryonic stem cells come from fertilized eggs, which we have nothing to do with, we do not do, and human parthenogenetic pluripotent stem cells come from unfertilized eggs, which we hold the patent on the creation of. So your cellular proliferation, gene regulation, and DNA repair functions and abilities are the same. They are both very, very potent. In your somatic cells, which come from discarded tissue, oftentimes it's from neonatal foreskin, fetal skin, fat, or blood, do have the ability to assist with gene regulation and collagen synthesis. However, they are less potent. They are not as powerful as a pluripotent stem cell, which essentially a pluripotent stem cell is a blank slate. It has not been specialized yet, which means it has the potential to become anything, any of the 220 cells in the human body, and it's very, very potent. Now with plant stem cells, whether they come from apples or melons or the Bouddleia plant or the Edelweiss plant, they provide amazing antioxidant and anti-inflammatory benefits. However, there's no way to measure their potency. We know, because we test in our own labs, that the proteins that we take from our human stem cells provide a superior level of these enzymes, peptides, polypeptides, and amino acids than those that come from a conditioned media source. In our industry, especially in medical skincare, there are many products now that are done or derived from a conditioned media source. In other words, the cells are put in a media where the cells are provided all the proper nutrients and oxygen and water, the perfect conditions for them to grow, and then once the cells have grown in there, the media is taken and used as the main ingredient in many of these products. 90% of that media is water. It also contains the cellular waste excreted by the cell, so it is not as pure as taking the cells directly from the stem cell. So number one, it's not a pluripotent stem cell, it is an adult cell or a somatic cell, so it's less potent that way, and they are diluted. The growth factors, proteins, and peptides are diluted, so they're not nearly as strong. So we do get directly from the stem cell, we get a higher concentration of these signaling molecules, all of them, all the proteins and peptides and growth factors. They are higher potency because they come more directly from the source. They are closer to the ovum, which is the original source of these proteins. This provides for us increased collagen, elastin, and GAG production, and then because these proteins are very fragile, they degrade very, very easily, and because they're a large molecule, we encapsulate them in a lipid bilayer. It's a phospholipid material that resembles a cell membrane. Then we micronize them because these are large molecules, and so now they can actually penetrate and get into the epidermis and then connect with the skin cells as they should. These these proteins are important because of their ability to bind with the skin cell. They bind with the receptor on the cell, as Max showed you the the diagram before, where the growth factor actually binds with the receptor on the cell, and this activates these messaging pathways for the collagen and elastin to form. So it's critically important. Also, if you're getting these proteins directly from the stem cell, you're getting more of them in a more potent fashion, and they're are actually directly connecting with more skin cells because there are more, so you get a faster upregulation of collagen and elastin as a result. These are some of the proteins that are attributed to skin health. These are growth factors that are actually the 6 most important for optimum skin health. The human growth factor regulates cell growth. The platelet-derived growth factor promotes collagen production. The epidermal growth factor stimulates cell growth. Your FGF7 and FGF2 are responsible for keratinocytes and fibroblasts, respectively, and then your transforming growth factor beta provides skin strength and also supports the collagen formation. This is our encapsulation process, which is unique to Lifeline Skincare in 2 ways. Number 1, we are encapsulating our proteins, which never happens, and then we micronize them to make them small enough to get where they need to go. So the encapsulation is a material that's bioavailable to the skin, so it actually can penetrate easily on contact, as well as the fact that they're micronized, so they're 4 to 5 microns in diameter. They can enter through the pore, they can enter through the hair follicle, or they can be directly absorbed into the skin. This is really important for delivering potent proteins to the skin for the production of collagen and elastin. So we take the proteins directly and we put them in this phospholipid material. This is a lipid bilayer. It is liposomal delivery system. So liposomes are not new, but the micronization of them is. So we place these proteins in this cylinder. This is a cylinder made from that material. And once we've placed them inside, then we do a procedure called sonification. We break them into tiny little microsomes so they can actually enter the skin. They're protected and they can enter the skin much more effectively. This is amazing technology and one that we find is extremely effective for delivering our proteins where they need to go. So we take the human stem cell extract that's produced from our cultured human stem cells that come from unfertilized human eggs. We actually encapsulate them using this lipid bilayer to preserve their efficacy and to enhance their stability. In other words, they will not fall apart, they remain potent, and also it helps with the penetration to get them into the epidermis where they can actually engage with the skin cell. These are some of our studies that we've done. We do our in vitro studies primarily in our laboratory in Oceanside, California. We do our in vivo studies via a third party where we actually work with labs that specialize in testing products. We send them out and we let them, these companies, take over the whole process of recruiting people to participate in the study, as well as do all the photography, and they do all of the they do all the photography and they do all of the measurements of all of the various areas of the skin, the depth of the wrinkle, the density of the skin, the elasticity, and also the hydration levels. This is an in vitro study that we did in our lab that talks about the accelerated wound repair. That's why our products are so great post-procedure, because they speed up the recovery process. The skin actually heals much more quickly, the redness is minimized, and the result is enhanced. So you can see that we have a control, and we have one of the dishes that's treated with the human stem cell extract. Then we caused a controlled injury to these cells where we scratched down the center of the cell. You can see that the cells migrate away from the injury, and 24 hours later the cell count in the damaged area that was treated with the human stem cell extract produced 92% more new cells. So now we have 115 cells to 227 cells. So obviously it really affects the ability of the skin to rejuvenate and repair itself. We also talk about fibroblast proliferation and the ability for it to be stimulated as a result of these stem cell extracts. Fibroblasts have to be present for collagen to form. And so it's really important that we understand that we are getting advanced collagen production as a result of using these stem cell extracts. the other name for extract is lysate. That is denoted in red on this graph, and the control is the blue. And you can see they are very similar in their production of fibroblasts until we get to day 4 and day 5, and we get a tremendous amount of increase in fibroblast production when we treat these cells with the stem cell extract. We also did a biopsy study. We took punch biopsies from subjects, and we treated these cells with the human stem cell extract, which is actually pointed out by the blue bands or bars that you see on the graph. The gene expression levels were measured using specialized instruments. The 3 genes responsible for the expression of extracellular matrix proteins were collagen A1A, collagen A1A2, and the elastin, and they were signaled or actually stimulated by the expression levels from the keratinocyte growth factor, fibroblast growth factor, and epidermal growth factor. So you can see that there's a great effect when we use the extract from these pluripotent stem cells. This was a third-party study that we did, and as you can see, this woman had a pretty definite or defined nasolabial fold or line right there on the outer corner of her mouth. This study was done over 12 weeks, once a day with our day product only, and you can see the results were amazing. Now, if she'd done the day product in the daytime and the night at night, it would have cut her the result in half. She would have done this much repair in 6 weeks as opposed to 12. The little photos that you see below with the little black marks, those are done with a VisioScan digital imaging camera, and that shows actually the depth of the wrinkle and how it repaired itself over this 12-week period. This woman had a 77% increase in the density of her skin, well, in the repair or the improvement of her skin. So it's pretty amazing. You know, when we send our products out to be reviewed like this, we have no idea what kind of result we're going to get. We are totally not involved, and so it's always so exciting when we get back a phenomenal result like this, because you know the pictures don't lie. These come directly from the lab, and they come directly to us from the lab, and so these are unretouched actual photos. We also did an eye study. This study was done in July a year ago, shortly after we launched our eye product. And you can see that this woman that starts off with really coarse, fairly deep lines on her outer corner of her eye, they're significantly minimized at the end of 8 weeks. This study was done with 25 subjects. They were ages 45 to 57, and you could see the woman had a 55% benefit in the change in her eye, and actually the VisioScan imaging really defines that clearly. If you want the rest of this summary of this study, you certainly can contact me, and I will be giving contact information out at the end. This also has, there were 3 other sets of photos that were done with this particular test, or with this particular study. One woman had an 80% improvement on the inner tear trough. This is a woman with very fair eyes and very fair skin, and you could hardly see the crepiness and the indentation from the inner tear trough at the end of this study. So the proteins from these stem cells actually work. It's so exciting to be able to talk to patients and to have them be able to, or patients and our clients, so that they can actually experience some great results. This is our whole line as it exists right now. We have 5 products. Actually, I take that back. We have actually one more that we added just a month ago that I did not put on here. This is our Daily Defense Complex, our Recovery Night Moisture Serum, our Eye Firming Complex, and our Dual Action Exfoliator, and then our Deluxe Mini Collection, which is miniatures of the day, the night, and the eye. We find that Lifeline skincare can be very, very simple to use. You can just wash your face and put it on and get a great result. However, most of us are using other types of products, so we can easily integrate these products into our daily skincare routines. If you like, in the morning we have a beautiful brightening cleanser, which is a powder cleanser that just turns into this beautiful lather when you mix it with water. It's really amazing. So you're welcome to use that or whatever cleanser works for you. We also have a dual action exfoliator that we recommend a couple times a week to make sure that the skin is barrier free so that the proteins from the stem cell extracts can penetrate. If you happen to have a toner that you love, that's perfectly fine. And if you're using a serum, as in a vitamin A serum, a vitamin C serum, if you're using any type of anti-aging serum at that point, something that is fairly thin and light, that goes on next. Then your eye firming complex, and then the Lifeline Day complex. Our Daily Defense complex is not a sunscreen, but it does defend from UV damage, so a sunscreen is required. In the evening, again, the brightening cleanser. We need to use a toner if you have one that you like. Then this is significant in that we have many of our physicians, and I'm sure you have many clients that are actually using a retin-A or a high concentration of retinol. Many people are intolerant to using those. In other words, they become very red, they skin becomes flaky or irritated, and they cannot use them. And so part of the reason that we've researched finding a better way to get that kind of cellular stimulation that you would get with a retinol, we are actually developing a proprietary ingredient for that doesn't cause this redness. But in the meantime, if someone is non-compliant because of this irritation, someone who just would love to have better results from their skincare, but they can't use a retin-A. If they use it with Lifeline skincare, they can. They become very tolerant. As a matter of fact, we have many of our physician accounts that actually sell the day and night product right along with the prescription for retin-A, and they're getting amazing results. Also, once you've applied the Lifeline Night Serum, you can put on a night cream on top if you'll be so inclined. Some people prefer to put on a heavier cream, and it depends a lot of times on what part of the country you're in or what season we're in. What we find is that after 6 weeks on the Lifeline Night product, people are less inclined to use a night cream. The skin becomes naturally hydrated because we're replacing those proteins and growth factors that we lose over time due to stress and age and natural exposure. So just like we don't use a lot of moisturizers or hydrators on children because their skin is naturally hydrated, as your skin is replenished with these proteins, it becomes naturally hydrated as well. So we know, and those of us in the industry love the fact that the science is the reason to believe. This line has amazing science behind it, and it's all biotech. So we're not a cosmetic company, we're not a pharmaceutical company. Our main focus is on regenerative disease, and we can apply that same science to helping to rejuvenate skin. But really what your clients care about are the results. They want to know if it works, and you can confidently let them know, yes, it does work, and it's very exciting. Our customers keep coming back for more. You'll find that once you get involved with Lifeline Skincare, you'll have 58% of your products repurchase the same product within 45 days. Over half of those will repurchase a third time, and 70% of those repurchase a fourth time and beyond. So once they start to repurchase, they're yours forever. Once they start getting results, they never stop using it. This is an amazing product for actually being able to get change in the skin. So our Daily Defense Complex, of course, uses the peptides and proteins from human stem cells, but we also combine these with specialized enzymes. These enzymes actually defend the skin from environmental and chronological aging because they actually target the damage to the DNA from UV exposure. They remove the damage and then they replace it. And so this protects the skin from future assaults. Here's an example of these specialized enzymes. This is a diagram that was actually from the manufacturer of these enzymes that we use. Typically, the damage causes a little break in the DNA. The endonuclease enzyme recognizes and removes that damage. The polymerase enzyme replaces that missing section, and the ligase enzyme connects the two strands. This happens very quickly. And although our bodies do have a natural ability to do this, when the damage becomes beyond what the skin can repair itself, it needs extra help. So we can speed up the repair by 4 times by using these enzymes. So now we can correct that cell that would have divided into 2 damaged cells. Now it will divide into 2 healthy cells and beyond, and we continue to have healthy, beautiful skin that does not reflect the visible signs of photo exposure. So the Daily Defense Complex uses these enzymes in the ultrasome and in the Celligent. We also have another ingredient called UGL complex, which helps to plump everything up, smooths the wrinkles, tightens and hydrates and firms the skin. This is a 60-day supply. We recommend that you use 2 pumps every day, and it retails for $160. Our Recovery Night Moisture Serum also, of course, uses the proteins and peptides from the human stem cells. We also use a B-complex nutrient panel. There are 6 of the B-complex nutrients in this particular ingredient to make sure that the cell is metabolizing properly. And because when we're using these stem cells and we're causing all this activity, we want to make sure that it happens most efficiently, and the B-complex nutrients provide that. And then we also have a full antioxidant panel to minimize free radical damage. This is also a 60-day supply. In both of these, the day and the night, there are 120 titrated pumps in each bottle. So it's a 60-day supply if you use 2 pumps every night, and it retails for $190. Our eye firming complex will be the hero product, and it is our hero product in our line. Because the areas around the eyes tend to be thinner, and as a result of that, they get damaged more easily, but they also respond to these proteins from the stem cells much more quickly. So we have our human stem cell extract to stimulate the collagen and elastin production, but also stabilize vitamin C and matrixyl 3000 all have an effect on collagen formation. Unfortunately, when you're producing new collagen, there's a byproduct called the MMPs, or the matrix metalloproteinase enzymes that breaks this new collagen down. And so it's like 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. So we actually decided to put in a product or an ingredient that would minimize the production of these MMP enzymes to keep all that newly formed collagen in place. That's why we see such great results, that the skin around the eye stays so tight and firm. Also, there's an ingredient called Dynalift that has a short-term, long-term lifting effect. This short-term, long-term lifting effect provides immediate, visible changes in the skin, but 5 hours later your skin is still nice and tight and firm, and as you saw in the photos, it's cumulative. It benefits over time. The skin stays tight and firm around the eyes. Also, this product is designed to be used on the eyelids, so it helps to lift the lid and minimize that crepiness. We also added encapsulated caffeine. This has a diuretic and an anti-inflammatory benefit to reduce puffiness and dark circles in the eye area. Our eye product is a 90-day supply, and so it's a great value at $97. You only need to use a half a pump in morning and night for both eyes. So a little goes a long way, and the results are phenomenal. Many times this is the leader product. If someone is not sure if they want to make the huge investment, you can see that the $97 is very competitive. People will start with this, they see great results, and then of course they would love to continue with the rest of the line. Our dual action exfoliator was designed to help with the penetration of these stem cell extracts. We use a physical and a chemical exfoliator. The polylactic acid microcrystals are naturally derived from cornstarch. They're a renewable resource. They are eco-safe, eco-friendly, do not interfere with the water system, and are considered a non-irritating exfoliating agent. What you're going to see in the future going forward is that any products using a plastic polymer as their abrasive in their exfoliators will have to change their formulation because they will not be allowed. They're finding that the plastic polymers, of course, get into the water system, and then the fish eat the polymers, and then we eat the fish. So they're going to stop allowing that to be used. So we didn't know that. I have to confess, we didn't know that when we developed this product, but now we are not going to have to be going through any reformulation process because these are considered very safe and eco-friendly. We also use glycolic acid as the chemical exfoliator. It is the smallest of the AHA molecules. It's a 2-carbon molecule. This actually can get in and clean the follicle and remove any sebum or dirt or debris or any trapped skin cells within the follicle. So it aids in the exfoliation. It really helps to prepare the skin for the absorption of the benefits of the stem cell extract, and it is one of the better products or better means of exfoliating without abrasion. We also use vitamin E and olive oil as skin conditioning agents. They're anti-inflammatory and they're great antioxidants. This is a 90-day supply as well. We recommend that you use a pea-size amount 2 to 3 times a week, and this will depend on your skin type. Some people with oily or thicker skin may use it more than that, and this retails for $65. This is our brand new brightening cleanser. This powder is a powder cleanser that activates with water, so it's ultrafine powders, almost like a talc. This helps to deeply clean and brighten the skin, also helping to prepare the way for our peptides and our proteins to penetrate. We've added to this vitamin E and A microbeads, and these are a built-in timing mechanism in that once you apply them to the skin, once you've added water and applied them to the skin, these beads dissolve in 30 seconds. And when the beads dissolve, the skin is clean. Most of our clients and patients don't cleanse long enough to really make sure that the benefits from the products they use following are able to be absorbed or penetrate. So this lets them know their skin is clean. It leaves the skin feeling really clean and smooth and amazingly powdery soft, and it does not disturb the natural moisture balance. So we use the powder cleansing process complex that's actually derived from corn, oat, and rice. These powders are pulverized. They're very, very fine. We have powdered hyaluronic acid to gently soften and condition the skin. We use a very little amount of salicylic acid to make sure that the cleansing process is completely carried through, and that we have we can gently remove any surface congestion. Again, the microcapsules as a built-in timing mechanism. And then we add powdered imblica fruit extract. This has been known to be a skin lightener. It also contains a very high content of vitamin C, and the tannins and flavonoids help with the brightening of the skin. This is an amazing cleanser, and we find that the results we get as a result of this are better than what you would get from a gel or a cream cleanser. This also is a 90-day supply or more, depending on how much you use. We recommend a dime size in the cup of your hand twice a day, morning and night, and it retails for $37. This is amazing. When you get your hands are wet, you put a little bit in the cup of your hand, and then it explodes into this beautiful lather that's soft, creamy, and just luxurious on the skin. Our Deluxe Mini Collection is a really great product for introducing the line to your clients and patients. We have found that many of our accounts are bundling this in with their series of treatments, and so they kind of bury it, it's hidden. So the Deluxe Mini Collection becomes part of the treatment, so that it enhances the results that you'll get from your microneedling or from your laser or from microderm or from peels. And then once they see that the changes they get in the skin, especially in combination with the treatment that you've provided, they become long-term full-size users. This is about a 3-week supply. It retails for $97. It's also great in your gym bag, and of course it's great as travel. We also provide professional back bar products. This is the day, the night, and the eye. We have coming out this month also the cleanser and the exfoliator will be actually in back bar sizes. These were designed as to support the your sell-through strategy. If you are starting the conversation in the treatment room by using the products, either incorporating them post-procedure or incorporating them into a facial treatment, you'll find that you will get a better response when you walk your client or patient to the retail area. These are designed to be very economical and not to disturb your cost of goods on your menu and the menu pricing. You get approximately 240 treatments per bottle. It averages about 63 cents per treatment, and this is the day, the night, and the eye. Again, the others are all priced the same. The day and the night are $150, and the eye is $80. Also, one thing that I really would like to mention is that the International Stem Cell Corporation, which is our parent company, the parent company of Lifeline Skincare, takes all the profits, every single penny from the sale of Lifeline Skincare goes back to support this important research. As Dr. Max said earlier, we are on the cusp of a breakthrough for the cure for Parkinson's disease. And it's a very expensive process, and all of the profits from the sales of skincare go back to support this research. So it makes us, or gives us the opportunity to be something bigger than just ourselves, and also the opportunity of having more than just beautiful skin. We're actually helping people that are currently suffering with these incurable diseases. So we're very, very proud of that, and we give it forward. Every cent goes to support the research. So just as a summary, Lifeline Skincare uses stem cell, peptides, proteins, and growth factors to speed up the production of new skin cells, to make the skin denser, smoother, and healthier, because we are regulating the production of collagen and elastin as a result of using these types of proteins. The stem cell peptides and proteins are taken directly from the cell, so they're not taken from a conditioned media. We actually open the cell, remove the proteins, and encapsulate them to preserve their potency, to preserve their efficacy, to enhance their ability to stay stable so that they stay potent, and to also help them with their penetration, because we micronize these liposomes. We micronize them with sound waves. It's called sonification. And so we put them in this cylinder, this phospholipid material that resembles a skin membrane. We put the proteins in that, and then we hit them with sound waves, and it makes them into these little tiny, what we call microsomes. They're a micronized liposome, and they're very tiny. They penetrate very well, and they maintain the potency and the integrity of the ingredients. And I want to thank you for joining me today. We will go through your questions currently. I just want to let you know before we go over your questions that for any questions, if you want an order form or if you want to place an order, please use the email address sales@lifelineskincare.com. We can answer all your questions there. You can request anything that you'd like to request from there, and also I will be contacted if there's something that you need from there as well. Also, we'd like to make sure that you note that you actually were participating in this webinar, and that use the code in the subject line, webinar 10614, so that we know that we can address your questions directly as a result of your exposure on this webinar. With that said, let's take a look at the questions. Okay. Anya, you do understand now that we take the eggs from women because that's really our only source of human eggs. We have not gone through the FDA approval process because it is a very lengthy process and is not required for skincare. We do not make claims. We are very, very careful not to make claims about how the products perform. We can talk about what they support. So we're very excited to be able to do that. But had we gone through the FDA process, I wouldn't be able to be here speaking with you about them because we would still be in FDA approval. These products were actually developed in the technology for the products was developed in December of 2010. There was a soft launch of the product to stockholders and shareholders and friends and family of the corporation in 2011, and really it didn't really make an entry into the professional market until 2012, 2013. So you're dealing with really new technology, and we're very excited to have brought it to you. Next question from Anya. Since human stem cells are used in these products, I assume there is no guarantee that they wouldn't cause an overgrowth of cells. We are only using the proteins, and there are no issues with, I'm not sure what you mean by overgrowth of cells, but it has not caused any issues, only great benefits. And all of the studies we've done, as well as any of the products that, any of the anecdotal information that we've heard. Dr. Max, did you want to comment on that at all?
Yeah, basically you said everything. We don't use cells, we just use products that we get it from the cell. So there is no way it can cause overgrowth of cells. It just can stimulate the cell that's already there, but it's not going to stimulate them all the way to grow uncontrollably. So yeah, there is no reason it can cause overgrowth of cells. And like you said, we did extensive testing. It's been in the market for a while already, and we never heard it. And as far as I understand, maybe you can go a bit more in detail. It's been used by doctors on patients that have some conditions, and again, there were only benefits and no concerns about causing it overgrowth.
Correct. Yeah, thank you for reminding me that we do have a physician who is a renowned dermatologist in New York who is a Mohs surgeon as well, and she has used our product since they launched, and it's exclusively what she uses in her clinic, and has had no issues with her clients and patients that have skin cancers of various kinds. So there's been no evidence at all of any issues, any contraindications at all. How do we micronize them? Well, as I explained, we put the proteins in a phospholipid cylinder, and this phospholipid material resembles the cell membrane, so it's bioavailable to the skin. We create the liposome, and then we micronize them with sound waves, so they're very tiny. When we put them in the product themselves, they are about 4 to 5 microns in diameter, about the size of a pore, so they enter very, very easily. Let's see. I'm assuming that skin transdelivery values have been measured in vitro. I'm also assuming topical penetration is superficial enough not to warrant a threat of carcinogenic exacerbation. Yes, that's true. I'm not sure if, and that would be a question for Dr. Max, about measuring the skin transdelivery values.
I was actually not the one who did the measurement, so I can't really go in detail, but as far as I know, the test has been done, and I think it only goes as far as epidermis and maybe a little bit in derma, but it doesn't have no chance of going in the bloodstream and stimulate tumors anywhere else. And as you said, we don't have any evidence that it can stimulate tumors at all, even if they're in the skin. So I would say they're superficial enough, and there are no chance it can stimulate any cancer anywhere else.
Yes, I agree. And you know what happens actually is that because of the perfect size, these little 4 to 5 micron size liposomes, they will actually enter into the stratum corneum, and as they get to the lower end of the stratum corneum, into that horny layer, that's when they open up, and as a result, the proteins then engage with the skin cells in the epidermis, and they also the phospholipid material creates a barrier, so they cannot. Once they're in the epidermis, they're there, and then they do their work as they engage with the skin cells in the epidermis, and then it affects the dermis going down, because it's all about signals and messages. Let's see. Does that mean that your products erase hyperpigmentation? We do not make claims about any effect on pigment issues on the skin. Anecdotally, almost everyone that starts using the product within the first 2 to 3 weeks say that their skin tone evens out, their pigment differences are much more or much less noticeable. In other words, the pigment of the skin evens out. We have nothing directly in these products that can affect either the melanogenesis. There's no tyrosinase inhibitors. However, we do see a great clarity in the skin after the first few weeks of use, and it could be as a result of the skin being more healthier in general and functioning properly, and also the extract from these stem cells is very anti-inflammatory. So if you minimize those inflammatory triggers that actually cause hyperpigmentation, the skin tone benefit from that. Let's see. Did I miss that one? Do you sell Lifeline skincare products direct to salons, day spas, medical spas, and dermatologists? Yes, we do. We also we have distribution outside the country, in Asia primarily, and we do sell directly to our customers on the website, on our website, direct to consumer. And minimum order, we like to start off with a $1,000 minimum order, so that's typically where we go with that. That ensures that you have enough product to really get started with, but it's not a big burden. Let's see, Kelly, can Clarisonic skin brushes be used with the cleanser? Yes, it can be, depending on the skin type. If the skin type is, for instance, more oily, a little thicker skin, it would be great. I would say that if skin is more delicate than that, then you may want to do a trial and error and not use the Clarisonic with every cleansing. But yes, the lather is so beautiful and soft. It is gorgeous with the Clarisonic. Let's see. Paulette asks, how does it react to extreme temperatures, hot, cold storage, shelf life of product? Well, the products are very well contained in an airless pump. Of course, there are, by extremes, I'm thinking if you're talking about storage or whatever, I mean, like in any skincare product, you don't want to have it in extreme temperatures or extreme cold. It's just, you know, there's a normal range that we all go by. But there's nothing special about the storage needs for these particular products. They would be stored and cared for just like any other skincare product. The shelf life is 2 years unopened and 6 months once you've opened it. So, but let me add this, is that these products should be used, if you want to get results, then they should be used within the 60 days that is designed for. 2 pumps in the morning, 2 pumps at night, produce the kind of results that you've seen in the photos that we presented. Kelly asks, are the products safe to use while pregnant and lactating? If someone has a question, we always defer them back to their physician. However, we have had, as Dr. Mack said earlier, it does not get into the bloodstream, so there's probably very little issues, and because it doesn't cause any issues at all, we would say probably no problem, but if there are questions and issues, we always err on the side of caution and have them check in with their physician and ask that question first. Let's see, Kelly asked again, is this safe to use with products containing peptides? Absolutely, but unnecessary. We have lots of peptides and naturally occurring peptides and proteins in these products, but certainly there's absolutely no harm at all in using them with other products. This product line is designed to be used in conjunction with other products, so it is absolutely fine to incorporate with anything else. It's an enhancer, it's a booster, it will make anything and everything that you or your clients are currently using just respond better. Any more questions? Okay. Well, I want to thank you again for joining us today. Please send your questions to sales@lifelineskincare.com. You'll find, I believe, also that there will be other contact information available if you need to call Lifeline Skincare directly. But our sales email is really the most direct way to make contact with us here. We're happy to answer any of your questions, and if you'd like to see a replay, American Spa will have this posted on their website. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Thanks for being with us.